everyone, we're going to use two proportionality theorems and have some examples and definitions. So we'll get started. The two theorems that we're using are the triangle proportionality theorem, and it says that if a line is parallel to one side of a triangle intersects the other two sides, then it divides the two sides proportionally. So there's your parallel lines right here. All right. So if they're parallel, then you can write your proportion as RT is to RQ as RU is to US. And the converse happens as well. So it says if RT is to TU as RU is to US, then these two lines here are parallel. All right, so here's an example. We want to find this value here. I'll just put an X there. So we have two parallel lines. You can see by the markings, those are parallel. So you can set up the proportion as RQ, which is 10, divided by QU, which we're calling X, equals, and you just go across there, 12 divided by 6. So I'll use one of my properties, my reciprocal property of proportionality, and flip that 6 over 2. And then, not 6 over 2, 12 over 6, sorry. 6 over 12. Cross multiply, and you get X equals 60 divided by 12, which equals 5. All right. Here's a real world example. So basically we're looking at this portion here, and we want to simplify the lengths determined by BD and determine why BD, so where's BD? Oh, this is B right here. BD, this line here is not parallel to AE. So we're going to set up our proportion and say CD divided by DE, and they're given the information here. And this is 27 divided by 23, and this does not equal 31 divided by 19, which happens to be CB divided by BA. So since they're not equal, then that means BD is not parallel to AE. And let's find the length of KL. So they have parallel lines, so I can set up my proportionality theorem with the parallel lines and say X divided by 18 equals, and then just move across here, 44 divided by 24. Cross multiply, and you get 18 times 44 divided by 24. Use a calculator. We can reduce this by 3. So this would be, we can divide it by 6. So if you divide this by 6, you get 3. And divide this by 6, you get 4. 4 goes into 44 11 times. So 3 times 11 is 33. All right. And we're going to determine whether QT is parallel to RS. So just set up the proportions, and you'll have 18, and I just make a V here. Let's make a V. So 18 divided by 38, does that equal, and go across, 36 divided by 80. I'm going to simplify some of this. Let's see. This would be, if you divide both of these by 2, that would be 9 over 16. And does that equal, let's divide both of these by, well, all we have to do is this. Let's just divide this one. You can use a calculator if you want, but divide both of these by 2. Because if you divide both of these by 2, you'll get 18 on the top. So divide by 2. And you get 18 divided by 38 does not equal 18 divided by 40. Because there's no way they're going to equal if the numerators are the same. And for this one, we have some more theorems. So if we have 3 parallel lines intersect, then they divide the transversals proportionally. So we're looking at this inside part. UW over WY equals VX divided by XZ. All right, and then we have this triangle. If a ray bisects, remember bisects means it divides this line in half. So these two lines are going to be congruent. And the angles will also be congruent here. So then we can set up that AD over DB equals CA divided by CB. So here's an example here, and we want to find the distance CA. So we want to find CA, this whole distance here, and so they have used the theorem CB divided by BA equals DE divided by EF. Kind of making this diagonal here. So CB, and then you have your BA, and now we have our DE and EF. Now what they're doing here is they're using the property of proportions. So that means they're just adding the denominators to both sides to help solve this. All right, and when you fill everything in, you're going to get CA equals 4,400. And so let's do the same thing they did. So we have 3 transversal lines, or 3 parallel lines. And so we're going to say we have to solve for AB here. So let's call that X. So X divided by 27 equals, now match it up, 32 divided by 24. You cross multiply. So just put the 27 on top here. And again, if you want to do this without a calculator, let's just start reducing. Let's divide 32 by 8 and you get 4. And 24 by 8 and you get 3. 3 goes into 27 9 times. So 9 times 4 equals 36. And then for this one, we have a bisector of a triangle. So that means these two sides are congruent. These two angles are congruent. Since it's bisecting the triangle into half, and this side AD is square root of 2, that means AB has to be square root of 2 as well. And that's a right angle right there. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.